Really?
No, Roselle
That
has
was
his.
me,
I just
though.
didn't have him on the list because I
Thought you
didn't
did.
because I saw the mayor tags. I didn't see the lawyer tags. I see. He probably went to go let Tony in to go get his clothes on.
Huh?
Because Tony looks like a fucking bozo. All right, let me add this guy to the roster. We love unexpected items in the bagging area.
Oh my God. Happy days. Happy days. Oh my God. This energy is new. It's committed. It's prepared.
Yep.
It's ready. The future.
Hey, Justice.
Smart, princess. Smart.
How's it going?
Yeah.
I'm alive.
Oh.
Hey, babe. I'm gonna lose it.
Well,
Given his
wasn't
license,
lying.
bar license on 04/27, by the way.
So who brought the champagne?
Oh my God.
Oh,
Not strong enough.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to have alcohol. I'm a recovered alcoholic.
Bubbly cider then.
Oh yeah.
So what's this meeting for?
Essentially, what do you mean? What is it for? It's just to kind of touch base. We have pretty much an
Yeah.
entirely new judiciary.
We have the entire. This is a celebration.
This is an
where-
actual legislative authority meeting.
Yes, yeah,
Imagine.
and
I'm
the
not sure.
governor
Bomb
didn't
went
have to
off right
call it.
now.
Like, imagine that. That's crazy.
You're
It's
whispering,
I
you know?
swear to God, if Mr. K wakes up right now.
No.
The door's
Um,
locked.
Don't bring that into the world.
Where's Kit when I need her?
This is the first time the legislative authority has come together without the governor having to rile everyone up. So,
And ironically, it's exactly because of that that we really don't have that much to discuss because
yeah,
we're actually like here.
yep,
I mean, I have
Shit.
one point, right? And the
Mm.
one point is, let's set a weekly meeting where we all get
Yes.
together and we just catch up and we get on the same page and,
Yep.
we hash out our differences because there will be differences.
yep, agreed.
What do you mean we're not all a hive mind?
I feel like we've
I
been
think we're
asking for
moving
that for
beyond that.
9 months.
If you
Well,
ask the,
we're
if
gonna
you
give
ask
you what
the
you ask for.
haters, every bad decision I've ever made is because a different judge talked me into it. So apparently I can't be stupid all by myself.
So why you're dating, Murray? Someone talk you into that?
Dang.
Damn.
Yeah,
You don't
me.
even know the half of it. Roselle.
Wait, that's true.
No, you don't even
That's
want to
true.
know what the opening line was, and I'm still ashamed it worked a little.
I kind of want to know now.
It
his
was
tactic
literally
then.
what Chanel Monáe just tweeted.
What did she tweet? But well, no.
Oh
if
my
I had done that,
God.
it would have worked easily. I
Uh,
don't think anyone's ever requested this man's tags.
Holy shit.
You think, Harold?
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, actually, I got something.
Okay.
Right before just now, I pushed out legislative bill CH23517, the legislative contest period. It is removing some history about back in December. When we first reviewed the legislative stuff, legislative process document, Weiss made the argument that the contest period should multiplicatively get extended based on the amount of legislation being pushed forward. It was based on the hypothetical if someone came in and dropped like 20 pieces of legislation at once with the intention of passing like that much through. My argument and accusation is that that was there primarily for a slumbering judiciary from having extra time in between golf course strokes to look through documents that probably only take about 30 minutes at a time.
and
I'm
other
the judge that
strokes.
plays golf.
Yes, exactly. It was a arbitrary clause. We lived with it. But now that we have this bill system that is now in place that encourages smaller, iterative, digestible pieces of legislation being pushed at a time, it allows discussions like the one right here to be very succinct, right? Do we or do we not add EMPs? What is the penal code change? It makes it a lot easier, so we don't need more time. The second is we've got the audit process already. In other words, a mechanism that any citizen can spend $50,000 and challenge an existing bill or an existing legislation. And therefore, this thing really just slows down our entire system in red tape and bureaucracy. So
there is one more point, if I may.
Absolutely.
The reality is, as this system becomes the foundation, we are going to be looking at taking all our existing legislation and collapsing them together in many cases. And that can happen really, really quickly because the law is not technically changing. But if that clause is there, it will greatly slow down our ability to restructure the legislation. And as an example, we have about 5 or 6 pieces of legislation that have to do with government funding and grants. We could put forward a simple bill that says we are collapsing legislation A, B, C, D, E, and F into one singular document, right? And we can do that en masse. But if this multiplicative clause exists, it's going to take us months to restructure the legislation and simplify it.
One last underlining piece, and this is something that I think we want to kind of collectively think on, is the contest period very healthy. And I am very much open to the idea that we consider if we passing another bill, if needed, to open the contest period to 7 days for all legislation, which may or may not be necessary depending on how things go. But I have been opening up that thought process, because if we went on vacation for 3 days collectively and someone pushed something out, do we want to be able to come back from that 3-4 day vacation and still have the runway to challenge it? The balance here is contesting before implementation versus how quickly things can get enacted. And honestly, I don't have a position on it. I'm pretty in the middle, either leaving it out or having 7 days. I'm honestly, either way goes by me. So, okay, cool. Any thoughts?
So, like you're saying like it gets posted and then it's implemented and there's 7 days to contest it.
No, sorry. So right now this bill removes the multiplicativeness. So everything that is posted has a 3-day window, right?
Oh, right. Yeah,
but
okay.
I am open to the notion of, like, if we really want to further embolden like contest periods, I'm open to like having a 7-day flat, right? So even in the event there was lots of bills, lots of legislation, it's 7 days flat. And even if you went on vacation for like 4 days, came back to like 6 legislative articles, you still have 3 days to look over quite a bit, right? You don't end up, your vacation doesn't end up losing you that ability to, challenge something if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have something currently about emergency enactment? Because I think 7 days is fine. It's just, what about shit that really needs to happen quicker, you know?
I think we should propose something forward, to be honest, and we do not.
Because if we have that kind of like option to, like standard day-to-day stuff, I don't know, a new regulatory commission on selling medicinal marijuana somewhere, right? Whatever it is, like a 3-day, a 7-day enactment might be fine, but like if it's something criminal in nature that needs to change like now quickly, 3 days is probably fine.
What about, and I'm just spitballing here, is if we have a representative from every legislative authority, someone can propose forward a emergency enactment, and if there is a unanimous vote, which it immediately acts. So that would cover every base, right? Where we are collectively saying under you know, we could get impeached with this, like if we do some dumb shit, right? But
Yeah.
if we all, like, each authority's like, yes, let's emergency put it in, then that solves that problem, you know?
I don't hate that.
I think Sam already has the foundation for that with the SEMA stuff, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, SAMA. It's more so for like any of our
Yeah,
legislation.
well, I'm just
SAMA
saying,
gets
like,
the
so
instant.
at least one of the branches can, because you have the SEMA for like if there's a national disaster, right?
That's
SEMA Los Santos?
SEMA is Los Santos.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Mm,
Wait,
we
SEMA,
signed it to
SEMA
both.
Act was signed on to by Blaine County.
Blade County, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
so,
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
it was.
so statewide then. Yeah.
Oh, it's statewide. Okay, so
I mean,
Case-
that's what comes with the power of uncontested authority, right? Like, but you know, to be fair, a check and a balance of a vote of the legislative authorities is the direction we should be moving in, right?
I want to say this as we look at these topics in isolation. I think what this actually calls to is a need for us to look at the entirety of the legislation process again. We wanted this kind of testing period to feel out bills to finalize the structure, but the reality is there are a lot of, number one, holes in the legislative process. I think number two, there are also a lot of things that don't make sense in there or don't align with the wishes of the state officials. So I think that we're brainstorming these ideas. It's a good thing, but I think at some point in the near future, we're all going to need to sit down and go through that process and refine it.
Well, here's my open invitation. Anytime you want a justice to come sit down with you and work legislatively, I'm here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Especially if I'm around too, I'm happy to help
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I was going to reach out to you guys too, because I'm going to be real. We have parts of the legislation, and I'm going to be open and honest about, that are broken, that just are either missing major clauses that are required. So legislative, I'm going to have to reach out to you guys to talk about these things. Due process needs some work. Search and seizure is a shit show, as I'm sure you're all aware. Like there are big bodies of law that need working on right now, and I think it's healthier if we do that all together.
Agreed.
Okay.
I do want to say, outside of that, as far as our plans tentatively, I know one of the things that all four of us have agreed on is a reworking of the search and seizure, something that is pretty important to us, especially considering the beta letter and then kind of the general confusion when it comes to contests and just the kind of, I would say, vagueness involved in that legislation. I think it needs to be cleaned up, and
there are specific holes there, right? Like, we can't hide them. There are specific holes there. Currently, you can only contest a search or seizure if it is pertaining to a criminal matter. But these are civil rights violations if signed incorrectly, and you can't contest it if it's purely for civil redress. That's a hole. That's a problem that needs fixing, right? Like,
Yeah.
we can't hide that.
I think I'm kind of having flashbacks right now to the last time we were all together as a group, which was immediately after the last governor meeting, where there were people in the room that weren't at that meeting. And I think for the sake of conversation and to make sure that we get off on the right foot rather than the wrong foot, like we did last time, when you look at changes to the search and seizure process, in your mind, how do you envision those changes occurring? What is the process that would be followed?
I mean, considering it's state legislation, I think having everybody involved and getting the stamps of everybody involved is important.
Yeah.
Because it's not like how it was when it got posted. We do need the sign-offs from both of the mayors. So I think getting the legislation to where both of them, I mean, essentially that's kind of our point to push, right?
I agree.
We can bring up legislation, but having both of the mayors rubber stamps is what's needed. So I like us working in silence alone isn't going to get us what we want to get.
Yeah.
Like working together and getting search and seizure, because I've talked to Nino, and I know me and him are on the same page on certain things on the search and seizure. So I think working together to get that legislation to where it should be is important.
I would
go ahead.
I would heavily recommend slight tangent that's going to bring it right back is with this with Michael and I kind of test betting this bill system. We'll be slowly iterating on it. We've already kind of been having a lot of back and forths on how to keep it concise but very readable right? So it's not as we know, like right now our formatting system makes everything look like a block of text, right? It's very unpleasant to read.
Especially when you're dyslexic like me.
I suffer from dyslexia too. I probably
yeah.
half of why me and Michael had the back and forth. I look at something, and if I can't just like, I don't know, I can't even explain the who, what, where, why. But as we're kind of closing in on that, and I think we'll be ready for mass consumption, hopefully in a week's time, I would recommend heavily relying on the bill system to make those search and seizure changes. Example, I think, Sean, you and I discussed, for example, that what is the standard of overturning, right? That's a topic. What is the legal, like, what is the boundary that once crossed now makes that warrant up for a reversal versus when it's not a reversal? Something that civilians and defense attorneys can understand, but also law enforcement and prosecution. Second, might be right now there is the night raid clause, which only infers that a night raid is needed if the person's not in custody. Back in the day, night raid meant are they sleeping or not sleeping, right? And I don't know what it's supposed to mean. So that's another area. So instead of potentially making a huge comprehensive bill, as we've learned over time, can end up causing weeks and weeks before we see it, it might be worth billing it out, you know? Work one bill at a time, one area of that piece of documentation at a time.
I mean, there's other things too, really. For I've dug through this. It's a shit show. Like, for example, the inventorying of vehicles, and thus charging people whatever's found in a vehicle for it being illegally parked because it's subject to tow, right? That is, to be fair, that's a traffic infraction. And they're using that as probable cause to then search a vehicle and press charges without probable cause of a crime because it's a traffic infraction. It's all a little cloaked. I think like as far as civil rights goes, that's
the Bobby special,
a very large stretch. Yeah.
Yeah, that
I think a lot of it needs active sit-down discussions and negotiations and like conversations to figure out what the will of the people and what makes a healthy society, is going forward.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I asked the question in the first place. What I was really asking is, what is the vehicle by which you make this change?
Chad, let me get some W's.
Do you envision it as
this is crazy.
You are working on it internally and you bring it to the mayors for co-signature as state legislation?
Well, I think it goes more so like how Grayson said, because at the end of the day, it's like you said, it is the will of the people and their rights are being violated. At the end of the day, it's not just us four, it's the entire city. So, like, who's more qualified to answer that question and kind of fill that voice than the two people who are elected literally by the people?
Yeah. And honestly, the reason I bring it up is because before Arcadia stepped down, she made the point after I explained the governor meeting to her that our existing legislative process does not align with the wishes of the governor, right?
Yeah.
It was of the governor's mind that the DOJ is the effectively uncontested authority when it comes to establishing case in common law through judicial proceedings, right? But our process does not say that. That's basically where I was taking this questioning to.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see a world where it is a collaborative experience and the legislative authorities are the vehicle by which you can affect these changes, I'm all for it, right?
For legislation, yes. Obviously, for common law, like if I'm in court, I don't want anybody else's opinions.
100%.
Right,
100%, right? That is very much your domain.
And that's from my impression, from what I've heard about what the governor said and what I've been around for. That is my impression of how it is supposed to work. The judicial stuff is us, and then if we want something legislatively, then we got to talk to the people.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
That is the unfortunate part of all of this. Murray was obviously there. I feel bad for the other justices who do not have that context because it led to a lot of issues with the last roster of justices where people unfortunately weren't there. They didn't have the context they needed. So hopefully that information gets disseminated down to you guys.
Is what you're I may have just so I understand properly. You're saying that there are still things in the process document today that may not align with the governor's wishes. With all due respect, he's representing the state officials at a constitutional level, right? So, in other words, that there are constitutional aspects that do not align with the process.
Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Easy. Well, shit. Y'all excited?
Honestly, I am. I personally am, to be honest.
Yeah.
That reminds me. Hey, now that I'm a justice, can I go remove every single person who didn't respond to my "Hey, do you still want your bar license" email?
Was
Yes.
there?
Yeah.
I will say it in person. I would like to maintain mine.
Oh, you're actually around, so.
I
yeah.
didn't even ask you because you actually are around.
Yeah.
Wait, don't get rid of Cornwood's.
Just
I'm
publicly,
not
I'm
doing
going to bring this up because I had a
us.
conversation with Braun yesterday about this.
Yeah.
He was asking how we felt about him practicing, just some criminal day-to-day stuff while being a deputy mayor. I said I don't see a conflict of interest, and I'd rather him be, I'd rather enable people to work than shut them out.
Yeah.
So I also looked this
vague
up just to give
potential
basic
conflicts.
provisions. Typically, how that would work in most cases is as long as I'm not using government resources, not suing a government entity or representing a government entity criminally, apart from exceptional circumstances,
Yeah.
it should be fine.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
That's generally my understanding after
Yeah.
reading a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we trust you to recognize if and when there is a conflict.
Yeah, you actually understand the concept, unlike some people.
Okay. Easy. Shit.
And even then, there have been moments when even Mayor Chavez has been stood in a courtroom and somebody's begged for his legal
Don't remind me.
expertise. All I'm going to say
That
is,
one
if
time,
everybody's aware
I've
of
only-
the conflict of
I was
interest and is
forced
willing
into that.
to waive it, I'm not
I was
going
there-
to
that was-
fucking
yeah.
yoink your bar license, right? I just want that.
Ooh, and
That case, they made me do it. And then they got mad. We won. I'm just saying, like, it was.
I mean,
Sparky perjured himself to win.
No,
Yes.
that is true too. I don't know why the
Yeah.
fuck the case was already there. You're dead in the fucking passenger seat. You couldn't control your body. Oh,
We had a low stakes civil small claims case the other day, and we let one of it was Flippy versus a cop, right? And we let one of Flippy's friends come to deliberation, and I literally went, "Is everybody okay with this? Because you can't call mistrial." And Ventura goes, "Yeah, but you gotta take Jenna." And then we took Jenna with us too. And
Yeah, I
was
mean,
like,
that's exactly what
I
happened
hit
with
him with
Nino.
that. Nobody can get mad if they say yes and they don't win. Does everybody understand? They were like, "Yes, we understand."
Well, that's what happened with Nino, because Nino clarified it with the prosecution, and they said it was fine. Obviously, Sparky said he was fine.
It's
And
That's what
then
I'm
me
getting
and
at.
Falconer
Even
said
if-
that if they don't care, then we don't care.
They looked at him
Yeah.
and went, "Oh, that guy's the mayor. What does he know?" Not realizing that Nino's been a lawyer longer
Not
than
realizing it turned into a 4-hour
than
fight.
most of the justices.
half
The
you know,
justices.
y'all ever take a look at the document at the top of the DOJ?
Which one?
Yes, a certain name that appears on there.
Yeah. Yep. Wait, did they get rid of it? Is it gone now? Is it gone now?
Are you looking for
No.
judicial process? Or are you looking for criminal and civil complaint templates? Or do not post in cases unless you're involved? They got rid of
the
some old
template, yeah.
ones. Yeah, they got rid of the one
The
that had all the
judicial
links to
process is the only
stuff.
one that left, right?
Yeah, they got
The
one that had
template
links to
that
stuff
says like
because they changed
Coop
it all.
Holiday versus Richard Goldshaft.
Oh yeah, there was one with there was another one that had it was like Coop Holiday versus Nino Chavez.
I was
I guess it's
referencing
gone.
Dick the other day. because of you.
Really? I hear he's still around. He's somewhere in the mountains, I hear.
But I
Yeah.
was talking about the Dick legislation the other day. I was like,
Yeah.
the Nino Chavez legislation. They were like, what? And I was like, tax fraud.
Yeah.
Like, he got found guilty of tax
Oh.
fraud, but
Is that the one with Stanton and what was it? Stanton and there was who was the other judge at the time?
was it Crane? I don't
It
know.
would be Montag.
I
It's starting to
miss-
talk Montag.
Yeah.
I miss Stanton because if you ever wanted to win a case, you'd get up there in your closing and you tell him exactly how to rule and what backed your ruling, and he'd do it.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Learned that trick from Benjamin Crane. He pulled it on me once, and I used it against him every other time.
The issue with Stanton was just watching his eyes to make sure he was still awake during trial.
Oh my God, he fell asleep. He admitted once on the stand that he fell asleep at a trial as the judge.
Jesus.
Yeah, but at the same time, he
Oh,
would
it
like,
is
wake
Nino
up at the
got.
end
Oh, it
and, like,
is.
through
Yeah, the
osmosis, he would
OG
know, like, a lot
justices.
of the times the right answer.
It's because you tell him what to rule in your closing. No, I love Stanton. Old. He's just old, you know? And when you get old, you get tired.
Yeah.
I had to send him to jail once.
What?
Oh, he got caught with a shotgun on his back porch, you know.
Oh, that. I thought you meant. I thought you
I
meant
sent
back
loads of judges. I Serge Cross I sent to jail once. I sent Alan Crane to jail once. Like I've jailed a bunch of judges.
He lost his bar one time because what was it? This is many years ago. I convinced him I want to get expunged. I convinced him he had to delete all my reports.
I think I remember hearing about that actually.
My first day I ever got hired as a judge. My first day, we went to do a wedding. Standing on board me, and we went to do a wedding down for the balls, right? The man got arrested for reckless endangerment for holding a wedding down on the sack and bringing everybody else down there.
Oh, Lang did it too. Oh, yeah, it was me and Lang.
He got wrangled.
And he ended up like literally in jail.
Oh my God, it was me and Lang. I called Lang. I'm like, yo, I got him to delete him. It wasn't his fault. He didn't know. Oh my God. Oh fuck. I
did want to touch. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say if anyone's got any topics, we should bring it up. But
yeah, I did want to touch on for transparency's sake. We are also working on just general standards when it comes to clerks, lawyers, judges,
love it,
magistrates.
Okay,
just of how their conduct should be and how they should be performing. And then me and Murray have talked about it, and we're both in agreement. We just haven't talked to the two new ones about it yet. But
bar
we
license.
also do want to kind of put in. Cause I guess he spoke with you about it. You know, getting a sort of standardized system to go from magistrate to judge.
Hell yeah.
Getting something like that in place, because I think having that alongside, like, they can go and like show their competence quick and get appointed, or they could like there's multiple ways for them to get it. They can just go and get it themselves, and there's no denying that. But right now it's like it's early phases. We still got to talk to two new justices about it. But
yeah,
as far as the standards, that is something that we all agree on and is actively being worked on.
Love it.
Well, also just for like, you know, some, you know, a little transparency here. We're working on internal training documents on the ideas of law schools. Like we're pushing forward full steam ahead, trying to get shit done.
In relation to the law school stuff, this is there's a project we started, and it's just now kicking off the ground. I have the intention to open up Los Santos University over at the grounds over there by Court Center. And similar to, I don't know if you guys have ever been to courtcenter.me. You know, you can make accounts, you could do all kinds of things. In fact, the entire thing is being renovated right now as we speak. But it has allowed, I barely look at Court Center, right? But the transactions over there are in the millions. PD's getting their parts there, civilians getting their parts, all kinds of transactions. It's not to where we want it to be, but it's going pretty well. A very similar system we're looking to open up for Los Santos University that will allow anyone in the city to apply, get assigned during orientation ceremony, kind of like, you know, the hat ceremony in Harry Potter, get assigned one of three houses. There will be a dean for law. There's going to be a dean for legislation. And those are the first two like curriculums we want to open up. And we'd love to work with you guys with it. Hell, one of you guys could be the dean, in fact. But the idea behind it is in this software and on the grounds, you can you create a bunch of classes. Like classes can be created by the deans. They can assign it professors. There'll be a schedule, so you could show up for reasonable suspicion and probable cause or something, right? And because there's a syllabus, it can be attached to a test. So literally these things could be taught throughout the week, whatever, by like, you know, certified professors. And the idea is, why not make education a little bit fun, a little interactive? You know, get people down at the thing. They can show up voluntarily if they want. We'll have a projector over there. So, so that, you know, let's be honest, reading is boring, but videos and in-person shit can be a lot more interactive. And that's kind of what we want to drive towards. Whole project might fail, but you know, it's you know, it's coming soon. TM.
I think some version of that is great because let's face it, people get off the plane and come into this city and they don't know a damn thing of what to do with themselves. And you know, some sort of on rails education on board process for whatever career path people choose is, I think, a good
You only
thing.
just got it? Yes,
Someone's
absolutely.
actually a lot of stuff too. Could be for doctors as well.
We used
Yes.
to have the people who would do. There was a service. This was 2 generations of government ago, where they'd advertise as like a thing, and if on your first day in the city, they'd pick you up, give you a free taxi ride, and they'd show you around and like
The welcome wagon.
yes, the welcome wagon. And they'd be like, okay, you know, like, here's where the clothing stores are. Here's where you go to sign up for civilian jobs. Here's the jobs that you can do. This is where you get your car, like that kind of thing, and like help people out on their first day. And nowadays, I feel like people wander into the wrong sack and then think that this is all they can do because they get tangled up with the wrong people. You know.
Sometimes the person who gives you the welcome wagon, like, sets you on a career path for the rest of your time here. It's really interesting. My welcome wagon.
Oh, did the
was
stream
Norman
restart?
Bo's.
Does that guy still have a bar license? Should I
I'd
ask
give
him
one.
if he wants to
Norman
keep his bar
Bones.
license?
Doesn't even have a profile, so.
I'll reach out to Norman.
We used to be partners a long time ago.
Yeah, speaking
He's
of
a good lawyer.
partners, have you seen
Hey,
his back?
new notification. Chat, give me a 1 if
loyal
you're just
companion.
tuning in, out of curiosity.
Yeah, we spoke yesterday. He owes me a lot of money, so he's gonna work it off by hopefully showing up again and
If
working.
Well, he
with
was awake earlier.
If he does that thing again where he shows up
Hey,
for like
perfect.
a week and gets something
Honestly,
fun
stream
from
should
lawyers because he's
re-notify
abusing it, wills or
every
paralegals,
6
I'm gonna
hours.
strangle him.
I don't know why platforms haven't decided to do that.
I foresee more HR complaints.
Well, if you're
Oh, that's
tuning
fine. You know
in,
Before
he's
the
the
storm.
last ever recognized
Grayson?
standing order in the state was against him.
and
Who are we talking about?
Rory
Rory
O'Brien.
Companion, your
Your
loyal,
loyal
companion.
companion.
and
His motto was "Fuck Murphy Braun."
fuck, I forgot her name because she's played so much. And Gates are now
I feel like
justices
my first ever court case was against that dynamic dude.
and
Princess, is there anything you need to hear from the DOJ? Because you're being real quiet.
No, I'm okay. It sounds good. I'm happy to see people here and doing stuff.
So, what day works best for everybody going
she
forward?
sounds like she's in
We're
shock.
all around all the time, so I don't think it's going to be hard.
Weekdays are better for me.
Not Sunday.
I don't do Sundays because it's F1 race day.
Mm.
And
As long as it's not 3 hours after storm, I'm good anytime.
Since
I will say, most of you will know why, because you know my voice. There will be times where I will not be around as much because I do have other obligations I have to think about. I do have kids and a dog and an elderly mother. But before I started, you know me, I love my back end work. So if you need me, I'm always an email away. But if I'm not awake every single day, you know why.
I would
Fridays, 3 p.m. EST.
I like Fridays. I also like Mondays. I want to throw this out there. Friday, we have the meeting. I think it's great. It's the start of my week. But the weekends do die off. So if we think that
Mondays?
they're... The weekends?
No, so if you like...
Oh, if we do it...
So if the issue is Friday and then 2 days of inactivity, that doesn't do it, right? But if we do Mondays, then we're going for the week, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Monday will be good.
We can make content here, and then everyone's got to play it out for the week type shit. You know what I mean?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Monday, 3 hours after storm until about 4.5 hours after storm. I am not available. But outside of that, I'm good.
been through a lot.
Okay, so if we did so if we do 3 p.m. EST, that's 2 hours after storm. Could you be available then for an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 p.m. EST on a Monday. Work for everybody?
Yeah. I'm even down for a Friday and a Monday, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the thing is, if we have a meeting on a Monday, we get started on our action points. If we need another meeting on a Friday, it's still doable.
Love that. Love that.
I will commit to it now, but as it's already hitting the 80s back home, and my AC in my room doesn't keep up, so there will be times where you will not see me in the heat of the day, and we might have to re-advise later because I'm gonna go back to nocturnal AU as it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. So for now we're good, but I'll advise accordingly because if I can.
Yep.
You ever thought about central air?
I have central air. You ever thought about slumlords? When it's 25 in the house and you're dying, it's Celsius.
Yeah, I know Celsius.
Okay. All right. Hell yeah.
They don't know anything.
Fahrenheit user.
I know I've been getting a lot of questions coming from DOC and the marshals about things. I have been advising that, let the state cook. I personally don't want to be touching, like, I don't want to be speaking in on behalf of the state personally.
Yeah.
I think that gets us into shit, right? Not by the state as much as like unintentional suggestions or promises that, and then something else happens and then people are up our ass. You know what I mean? So, but I imagine that's still being cooked, right? Have there been any guidance that y'all have heard? I haven't.
Guidance, no, there was a discussion.
Okay, easy.
Questions were asked and we answered the best we could, right? So I don't know anything's happening.
I believe Marshall Barrett has been contacted and has been discussing things with the state about how things are running, how they're going. So, the governor's been talking to him about the day-to-day and that kind of thing to make an informed decision.
Okay, easy.
Also, for clarity, I did just go through every impeachment that is where someone has changed positions and informs the state in case that changes their, like, if McNee stepping down is enough for the state to go, okay, the impeachment doesn't need to happen, or if he still gets impeached even if he's removed, like that. So I just went ahead and alerted to all the judicial position changes to the state.
All right, easy. Hell yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Sounds like we're all in like good places. Harry, is there anything you need from us?
I might need to. I'll probably work with you on this, Grayson. The Dosage Act, because I want to fix it and stuff.
Whenever you want to sit down, just reach out. You know when I'm around.
Bet.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll all be around if you guys need us.
Easy.
Fantastic.
Oh, I got one more thing. The second bill I want to push forward, and this is going to affect everybody, so I want to let me know if, hey, we need to think about it or kind of go for it and don't feel hyper obligated. If we look at the legislation tab, there are a bajillion tags. I'm going to reference OCD. This thing fucks with me very heavily. I imagine it affects others as well. Is that I think we should have a Blaine County tag, Sama tag, DOJ tag, Los Santos County tag, but then a state tag. So instead of like putting 3, 4, like just tagging everything, it just says state.
Voltron tag.
What is it?
Yeah, so we can just add a state
Voltron tag.
Yeah.
So, Nino, you have more clout than me. Can you get them so you can actually search by more than just Blaine County, DOJ, and because we can't even search by for SAMA. Down to just SAMA legislation.
So in that regard, before we put this bill legislation forward,
I think I know how to fix that.
Oh,
you can fix that. Okay.
Wait, really?
Something in the config.
I'm making the state legislation too.
Oh, you are? Oh, yeah. We might not even need a bill, to be honest. Oh, wait. This does work. Oh,
if Sean can,
but if you make the state tag, then you will be able to do what you're suggesting.
Yeah, because then we could just take off the excess tags and then add that, and then we already have all the other tags.
Yeah, precisely.
That Nino DOJ tag would be for case in common law, right?
So the idea would be if it's Blaine County specific, right? Los Santos County specific, Sama specific, DOJ specific. DOJ would be correct. Case law stuff. But anything that is like state would be effectively state.
Right.
And then this filter is going to work. And then, you know, boom, boom.
Are you guys fine with me just using the, what's my tag formatter to just go in and make those tag changes?
I don't think we should be doing that. I think, and I think it's a good quality of life, Michael, for you doing it. But I think those that currently own it should move it, only because tomorrow, if you're retire and someone else comes in and takes that position, they may do some bozo stuff. You know what I mean?
You're retiring, Michael?
I mean,
punch Murray in the nuts for you.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
I get the argument about trusting the individual more than the role. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just to be safe, because if let's say there's a mistake while doing it, that's a hell of a lot of accountability to throw onto somebody. You know, for which do we need a bill for this, or do you guys just want to do it?
Just to make a tag now.
Yeah, tag and like re-tag some of these things. I mean,
I don't think so. It's like the same effect of having like
I know
all three tags on it.
But it could.
I'm letting you cook.
It has no effect on the people of the constituencies, so
right.
I think that
It's internal database work. It doesn't affect the content of what's included.
Yeah, the law's not changing.
Making it easier to search.
Yeah.
I don't want to get Michael getting fucked because he accidentally does something and then he's got like people up his ass about it.
To make it easier to search for what jurisdiction it applies under.
Okay. I've had this conversation with every mayor for the past 2-3 election cycles now. I'm going to now do it as a justice officially. Can somebody please write legislation about the electoral process? Please. So what happens if one of you dies, right? What are the next steps?
For the interim.
Can we please get that legislated?
Yeah, 100%.
What happens if Mumbles has to leave? What happens if all this shit?
Yeah, I want a process so it's not just us having to make a decision, right? Like, I think it should be processed out.
Should that include things like like Princess got a warehouse, right? Because Pred bought it and it went to Mumbles and went to Princess. Should it include like the passing off of those things?
Look, however each individual authority wants to legislate their own county is up to them, right? Like, I'm not going to tell them what to do. Like, it's up to them. How do you want to
Then I'll just
work
throw
it?
that out there. Y'all do what y'all want to do.
I think our hands are full. I will say, doing all this stuff. I think we can put that on the list. I don't really mind if anyone else does it. My only ask would be that we take the San Andreas Voting Regulation Act and expanding that to be about everything: mayor election, mayor, judicial, magistrate election. Like, effectively take all these things and section them out. And as a part of that sectioning is like, let's have a bill for exactly what you just said, Grayson. Right?
Yeah. I was gonna say, can we just amend what we have instead of making a whole new?
Yep. This would the bills, Murphy, are exactly that. The bills are a means by which we say we are amending or removing something.
You're stressing me out. You're making my ADHD.
Right, I want to make it tag is legislation, right?
Yeah, I just did that with the new Summit thing and it didn't work.
Yeah, so I think
he removed
that's a
all the
quality
Sama
piece of
tags.
legislation because as deputy mayor
Yeah, I'll
in the
fix
room, the role of deputy mayor is sort of poorly defined. So in as much as
not
creating
defined.
a succession plan, part of that could be defining that role a little bit more directly too. So
I think that
Oh,
I mean, in my opinion, would be county specific.
I actually agree. I forgot that bit. Yeah, if when last time we had this discussion, I think that was a conclusion in that Blaine County might want to have their own structure and succession plan, whereas Los Santos leave it to the mayor to decide.
Yeah, because you don't even have a deputy mayor, correct? So like you don't even really have to worry about.
Correct. And I don't carry dice, so.
But does that mean that it's dependent on, like, if I write legislation for that for Blaine County, arguably a mayor in the future could use that to say, I'm going to pick someone as deputy mayor who is absolutely not fit for the role because it's not an elected position. I can choose whoever I want. And then they'll just resign, give the position to someone who absolutely should not have it.
It could be a thing where you could set someone to be interim, but there has to be an election for the interim in so many days, right? Like where it's like there's so many days for an election to be held. So
yeah,
the
if
flip
someone
side
just
of it
flat
is
up resigns immediately, then there should just be a special election. I don't think that a succession should necessarily happen naturally.
Yeah.
In the scenario that someone who is unfit to be mayor is a deputy mayor and they become mayor, we have to ask ourselves if the tools exist to handle that situation. And if we have an unconflicted judiciary that can oversee the impeachment hearing and they have the power to remove a person who basically warrants impeachment, can the situation be resolved? And I think the answer is yes.
I don't have any faith in the impeachment system at all. But
So
that's because I
faith?
haven't seen a successful impeachment yet.
Well, it worked though. We put it's been working for 9 months. We put up the documents and people just disappear. It's
that's true. But
the issue is with impeachment is that the term length is 3 months, right? So it's like, let's say it takes you 4 weeks to complete or get an investigation that's workable. Then you're waiting, 3 or 4 weeks on a court case. You might already be a few weeks into the term. So it's like past a certain point, it's not worth it. And it's a race until then. So it's like
I think it's worth it. My biggest worry with the impeachment is that issue, Murphy. I don't like the statute limitations on it.
Yes. Which shouldn't even be enacted into law because it didn't go through the legislative process, right? I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know off the top of my head. If someone gets impeached, are they not allowed to hold office ever again?
Probably if that's an outcome of the impeachment trial.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And that's the other side of it, right?
So I basically rewrote when that legislation got updated. Like I wrote the last, apart from like final edits that were made by a sitting justice at the time on it, that changed some of my intention. I wrote that, and I wrote it so that impeachments did not mandatorily require removal from office. Right? Like that should only be like, the greatest extremes of fucking, as bad as it gets, right?
That's also in line with what the governor has said in the past.
Yeah,
I mean, it's.
I'm kind of down the middle here. Special elections sound great to me, easy. I also agree that it takes a very long time to get the impeachment stuff going.
Mm-hmm.
If we had to make like a vote or whatever, and I had to put a decision right now, I like the idea that if we decided, a county decided that they wanted to secede their power to another individual under whatever circumstances, they are well within their rights. And this goes in line with what the meeting was with the governor. Remember that conversation, Princess, where he was like, if theoretically we could conjoin our counties, if we so choose. And in the same vein, if me or Elena wanted to pass our power on to somebody else, we're doing so because we were given that democratic power to do it. Yes, it could, I could go and make, I don't know, let's pick a name, a forehead, my successor. Yeah, there'd be an impeachment. Yeah, there could be damage, but you can also do injunctions, all these other things, and it's such a.
And ultimately, you've got a 3-month term, right? Constitutionally, that's what's there. Like there are other checks and balances in the wings.
Well, and the biggest check and balance is the penal code, right? If a mayor ever does do something criminal, again, the tools exist to resolve the situation.
We stopped the body from getting put into Los Santos County yesterday. I mean, thank you very much how quick that was. I mean, if we can do that, I'm sure we could stop, Forehead from, making robberies legal or whatever you might do. You know.
I thought the motion from Seren to make the man rest in piss was a little rough, but it is what it is.
Wait, he put that in there?
No, it was a request
Well, he
to
said
have him
bury him in
interred
the
in the
sewers.
sewers.
Oh, no. I asked him for that. Yeah, that was, Saren was doing what I asked him to enter in. You know what it was? I wanted to, here's my philosophy, and this is going to sound a little strange. For me, the matter was pretty serious, but it might be too serious that it might be, it's like the reaction that it might receive, so I figured I'd put a little bit of humor in it to
Try and break the tension.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a terrible idea.
What? Wait, with the sewer thing?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
He took, a whole group of police officers who are grieving their fallen friends and said, instead of grieving your fallen friends on the day of their funeral, we're going to force you to go through all these extra steps and also deal with the potential, trash talking of your fellow, someone you've worked with for years, maybe.
Yeah, but the guy, I mean, do you know what he was doing?
Wasn't there an investigation ongoing?
Oh yeah, some of the details are
We're
very.
going not. We're
Yeah,
going
I feel like a lot. Yeah. We don't want to conflict anyone.
Justice panel.
Yeah.
Also, on a non-conflicting
Oh,
point,
yeah.
I'm entirely conflicted. I can stay.
I have sat there and watched cops make fun of people in the BBMC and people in other gangs for losing a member. I was there after the war when they made fun of Mayhem for losing Kaiser Phrasington. Jacob, he's not my favorite Beretta. I'm more friends with his brother, but he was a damn good fucking cop, and I will miss him. Mason Dixie, I don't know, but I have no fucking sympathy for their feelings when they sit there and tell people that they don't give a fuck that their friend's dead because they were evil. They fought in a war against this country, or because they did this or that and that and didn't fall in line with what they think is good and right and true. So I have limited respect for them because I've seen them tell gangs to their face that their friends deserve to die.
Hell yeah.
Period.
Hey, well said. I do think if Murray, you're not conflicted, it might be.
No, I am entirely conflicted.
He is entirely conflicted.
Oh.
It's an he's conflicted on anything ADMC.
Oh,
because they keep hiring that old bastard.
Is it conflicted enough to divulge some of this to a limited portion of the room? I mean, the FOIA is coming out in like a day and a half anyway.
Hey, look, I think we're basically good. We've got a good time set up. I am more than happy to step out of the room. If anybody needs me for anything, you know where to find me.
I don't do murder cases. They give me PTSD.
It was a manslaughter.
Yeah, well,
Am
it's
I
still a dead
necessary
body.
for this?
Yeah.
So I'm also actively
No,
conflicted on
it's-
anything involving that man's death,
Wait,
anyways,
what's-
because of the response to it.
Yeah.
Going into.
It's about the
Yeah. In
reasons
case
for
you didn't
the
get the
funeral,
so you can
thing
hear the full
yesterday.
scope of it.
Oh no, I did. You told me.
Oh shit. Oh, there's a lot more.
If you hold the door open, Grayson can hear us. And you conflict.
Maybe we should go to the hospital.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you should get
Prepare
checked
yourself,
out.
princess. We need you.
Yeah.
Is there more,
Okay.
important stuff?
What?
Legislative meeting.
What?
just next Monday?
Hello?
Just Monday.
Wait, what time?
I put it in the. It's.
I never go.
You put it where? You put it where? Where, Daniel? Where'd you put it, Daniel?
We pinged the guy who said to peg him to make it happen, and he did make it happen.
Peg?
Oh yeah.
Did like a switch turn or what the fuck?
Judge's channel, where the camera director can't see.
And we asked, and the guy said, "Ping me," and I pinged him, and then he didn't do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it again. I don't give a fuck.
Go for it.
Okay.
Let's get you over there.
Yeah.
I think it's time to go get checked out. All right. Apologies for the early exit.
Yeah.
Go to, doctor's
the state legislation tags in now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I updated all the
right.
state legislations that I saw.
And I can go through the rest of it.
Let me take a look here. Oh, that looks so clean.
Yeah, I'll email you the reason why I went with those calls.
Okay.
Do we just want case and common law to be DOJ legislation? Like what's the plan here?
Because it technically is, we'll just keep it as that.
No. So I meant there was a period of uncontested authority where the DOJ could pass foundational legislation for the state, right? You wouldn't have been there for that conversation, right? So we have a lot of old legislation that's listed as DOJ legislation, but it should be state legislation.
Yeah, I can do that. Like the Constitution, marriage, legislative audit.
And then it's very clear that DOJ legislation is legislation from a judicial proceeding, right? I think that's correct me if I'm wrong here, Nino, but that's the goal here, right?
Yes, that is exactly it.
Okay, good.
Oh, so you're saying all these then? Like lawyer reclassification. Okay, I gotcha.
Like for example, the what's it called? The bro stuff that Katie and Barrick are going to work on, that's coming from a case law, so that would be tagged DOJ.
But like due process, search and seizure.
Due process,
yeah, those are all state.
Yeah.
Unless they have clauses in them that were amended as part of a judicial proceeding. This is where it gets tricky. But they are state technically.
This is kind of why, like, I think, I agree.
I think just keep it to the like the Constitution, marriage, legislative audit, freedom of information, like the stuff that shouldn't be changing.
Yeah, I without all the authorities here, I just want to make sure that everyone's on board with each of them. I'm going to probably agree with whatever we're probably all going to come in agreement here, but we need to make sure Sama and Blaine are on board too.
Right.
Just so there isn't like a wait, why did this happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll wait till Monday for more.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah, like the SEMA, legislative proposal.
I can even combat can stay as DOJ stuff because it's like literally
like stuff that we pushed. We could keep it.
I might put together like an Excel sheet just to make it easier for us to work through this en masse rather than one by one in the MDT.
Yeah.
I think I've fixed all the SAMA stuff.
Oh,
you
know what we could do too? Sorry,
I think all the SAMA stuff is like tagged appropriately now.
If let's say like one of y'all or with Michael or whatever, we're like, yo, these are the tags. We could just put it in the email chain and just like check mark up and down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because that topic for a Monday meeting is kind of like, this is like you look at it 5 minutes, agree, disagree. You know what I mean? And then keep the spicy stuff for Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, when your old clients text you congrats.
Yeah, okay.
The PD beefing the Raiders on Twitter.
No, we love a man calling a woman a cunt on Twitter.
Wait, again?
Maxwell of all people as well.
Also, Maxwell's not even a cunt, and I say this as a woman.
Oh,
she's at most a bitch.
I know nothing about this back and forth. Yeah.
Hey, do we have any authority to? Never mind. Actually, that's just me being spicy to be spicy.
Yo, chat. We got to get that Brian timer to 4 hours so Brian can hear about it.
PCSO deputy twatted it, lying, gloating about the Lakers losing.
The what?
Yeah, get fucked, babe. Get fucked, babe. Invested.
Jay fell off. So did the Lakers. Oh shit! Oh, that is crazy.
Should I ban them from Twitter?
Oh my god.
That's that cop who sounds like he's a Tory bastard. I hate his accent. He's a nice guy, but his accent makes me want to punch him in the mouth. It's like certain British accents that are terrible.
Also, Wade Wilson called Maxwell a bitch and a cunt.
Sean, in regards to the second part of our posting, is that something you still need to respond to, or should it be filed separately?
I wanted to touch base with you to see what, because I know you said it was kind of hinging on like if they had it in the county.
Let's talk about it afterwards, just so. Well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But okay.
Right, I'm updating our to-do list.
Oh good. I don't have a bookmark for no reason.
Yeah, same. That's how I feel.
I gotta go. Is there anything else for me?
I think we're good,
we
to be honest.
finished, the roads violation.
Oh, I do need to chat with you real quick, Michael. Wait, what are you looking at? Do you have like 5 minutes or?
I have -8 minutes.
Oh shit! Go.
Not me, almost putting the wrong.
Well, Grayson can actually do the hot pursuit case law instead of getting ignored. Well, speaking of which, let me call him back in.
Yeah, we need to write to bug styles about that whole is legislation thing not working.
Wait. Oh. Wait,
like,
actually? Wait, I'm so confused.
So when you make a tag, right, there is, you know, you put in the name, you put in the icon, the colors, and then there's a checkbox that says is legislation. And I would assume, you know, if that box is checked, it means if it's tagged with it, it can be searched for in the legislation tab, like the filter by, you know, LS, Blaine County, stuff like that.
Right.
But I just made one for Sama and checked the box when I made it, and then it tagged stuff with the tag, and then it didn't show up in the dropdown.
$100,000 to whomever fixed my offline MT. I'm serious.
Wait. Can you email me that link again? Because I was going to use it this morning, and then I had to check and see if it's working for me.
Yeah, I got you.
Have you tried a different browser?
I've done incognito mode. So I've had other people show me what their link looks like when you sign in and you go to the other secondary site, you sign in, and it's supposed to send you back. It doesn't take me to the same link everyone else is going to.
You might have to look to see if the pop-up or redirect filter is on. So some of the browsers, they got the little icon that means stop pop-ups.
Yeah.
But there's also another little setting sometimes that prevents redirects. So
Okay, because it used to work and it stopped working.
it might have been it could have been like a browser update or something, you know.
Let me try opening this in fucking Edge or whatever.
Or like if you've got like an ad blocker or something like that, it might be like it might be thinking like, oh, it's trying to, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I have the ad blockers turned off for that, but I don't. Hello, I'm updating our to-do list.
Okay.
All right. Let me see. All right,
working
perfect.
on extingent circumstances in Hart pursuit, aka the Arnold Carl clause.
All right. I am gonna get out of here. Anything else we gotta chit chat about?
I don't think so.
I
Easy.
think we're all good. Appreciate
All right.
you coming through.
Y'all stay safe. See you Monday, or
You
actually
too.
probably every day.
Probably every day.
Finally,
Yeah.
every day.
And
Yeah,
you know, if I need to chat with you guys, I'll probably pull up my phone and one of y'all will be around. So
Legislative
Not an email,
authority
crazy.
meeting at the monument outside the PD meeting. Nino.
hey, I fuck with it.
Damn, what a day.
I know. Oh shit. Junior ping 72.